Good evening, October 23rd, Hermosa Beach, class 2009, planet Earth, for some. Anyway, I was here, I guess, last April, and all of a sudden I knew there was going to be a class here and that I was to come back, and I didn't know why, and there really isn't a why, and I wasn't, didn't really have a clue, and I just knew it was time. I don't think there's been a class here now for over a year, maybe a year and a half, and from 1994 on, there were scheduled classes. We started with the script and the kid work of Mary Muhl. Joel Goldsmith's tapes were being played weekly way before that. This has been a mecca and a sanctuary right here in the middle of all of this party world of learning how to be still, going within, letting that all drop away, but most of all, learning to sit behind the mind. And Lee still has the meditation Sunday nights where you can come and just bask in that union. And the truth is all any of us came here for it all was for remembrance, for an opportunity to fellowship, for an opportunity to join in like minds, for an opportunity. There's really only one thing I think anyone here wants, and that is to have that soul recognition, to recognize one another as that pure, unadulterated consciousness. And many times I need someone else to give me that recognition, or someone will call me and say, tell me who I am. I'm forgetting. Tell me who I am. It looks like, I've got this, or I've got that, or I broke this, or I broke that. They want to do surgery. They're wanting to put me on this medication. It looks like my son is not going to have his job, on and on and on. And we call each other and we say, tell me who my son is. Tell me who I am. How can this be? The main principle of Joel's work is God constitutes individual being. Yours, mine, theirs. Period. But how come we don't remember that when we're standing there and we're scared to death because the boss is going to give us an evaluation, and everybody knows by listening to the news that, my God, we're not going to have any money anymore. None of us. If you want to listen to the news. We're not going to have any houses anymore. Everybody's being thrown out of their houses. Is that true? I mean, look at all of us. How many of us went out to dinner tonight? And how many of us went to lunch today? Where did the money come? How many of us rent is paid for this week, this month? All of that fear, all of that world, as Joel puts it, mesmerism or hypnosis. I just prefer the movie that they're, I prefer that terminology for some strange reason. But anyway, I can get my arms wrapped around walking in a theater that is of lack and limitation, and what am I going to do next week? And I know how to walk out of the movies now. I know that whatever I'm allowing my consciousness to entertain, I am going to project out there. And if a whole bunch of us is projecting that out there, it's like, no, it's time to stop right now. The very minute you hear a news report or a headline of anything other than what you know to be the truth of God, that's where we stop. Right then, right there. Wait just a minute. I know you're tempting me to believe that there is something other than God. Sorry, I'm not going to buy it. It's just not true. So if we could join together in group conscience and work with these principles, I'm sure many of you have been working for years, all the way back into the 60s. Some of you here tonight are brand new at a class, and it doesn't matter. It's like the consciousness that we come with here is what is brought to the middle, into the center, into that womb of silence, into that all-knowing place. The meditation that we just had, that is really what brought us here. Not so much the silence, but that absence of that little self, that absence of the mind, chatter, 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 telling me all these falsehoods. It's an opportunity to lay the mind down and become consciously aware right here, right now, of the presence of God. All I want is to come home to my divinity. All I want is to return to that which breathes me, that which lives my life here now. It might look like I want wisdom. It might look like I want more answers to all my questions. And we ask the questions. We get the answers until we find out there's just no more questions and no more answers. There's nothing but here and now. The title of the class was Doing and Non-Doing, and Knowing and Unknowing. And it's all true. It's like the tide out there in the ocean. You know, we do and then we don't do, and then we know and then we don't know, and the more I know, the more I don't. The more I do, the less I have to, and the less I do. You know, it just constantly is that flow of energy. There's an absolute time when we'll say, don't do anything. Just be, just wait, just watch. But should I this? Should I that? Should I take this job? Should I go here? Should I stay? And then we drop into that silence and we pause and become the watcher. It removes all the indecision, just stepping back, making a decision to not make a decision. Stepping back, relaxing back, allowing the God of my being, the totality of it all, to move, to do or not do, to reach out or not reach out. But most of all, it is I was going to say path of trust, but it isn't even a path. You know, a path has this indication that there's somewhere to go. And it is in the arriving, moment by moment, arriving right here, nowhere to go, just being. I have arrived when I pause and I go in, and that muscle of trust is built every time I open my fist and let it go and let them go out there and let the questions go. Perhaps just being, just allowing is enough. Pausing, complete recognition that right here where I stand is holy ground, is the presence. I stand before you to make the crooked places straight. I am that I am. And that I am is the doer. And that I am is the non-doer. Same. So we sit back and we rest. Or we run around in turmoil. What should I do? What should I do? Pick up the phone, call someone. I don't know what to do. This, and this. And the person says, just breathe. I will know for you who you are. Just breathe in, breathe out. Rest back. Oh, beloved, bring me home. Just bring me home. Remind me when I forget. Open me and my heart and my soul when I close down. Empty my mind when I have filled it so full of the information that is beamed at me. We had the plumber here the other day, and the first thing you know, he's saying, "Did you get your flu shot?" Lisa, not yet. "Did you get your swine flu shot?" And I said, "Oh, this year it's the pigs. Last year it was the chickens, and the year before that it was the cows, and the year before that. But this year it's the pigs." Okay. You know, it's just everywhere you turn. They're marching for everything, marching for everything. Or can we just sit back and know? How silly. Just another movie, just another mesmeric conditioning. I call them designer diseases. Every 2 or 3 years there's a new name for something. But what is it really? Separation. I believing that there's something other than God. Am I getting caught up in the hypnosis that anything can be other than God? And we come here for the weekend to break a lot of these hypnotic suggestions, and that is all they are. But we have the temptation is always there, to believe that I've got to fix it, or fix them, or fix something. Could it be that at this moment there's absolutely nothing lacking, but only in the moment? Now what about tomorrow when the phone rings? Can they really live without me while I'm here? Getting our eyes back on home base, coming home to the only place that I will ever know God within, right here, right now, in that silence. And I can be aware. Be aware of that presence of God. And knowing that with that awareness faculty, I can increase that awareness at will. Whether I am standing on my job or in the marketplace, or sitting in my sanctuary, I can stand or sit and increase that presence, that auric energetic field around, in, through. Some feel like they go up, some I feel like I step to the back and watch. For it is I. I can expand that awareness just by pausing. Surrender is the main principle of meeting God. And why would I say that? Because God can only meet me where I am. When I finally admit complete defeat and powerlessness at trying to run the world, my perception of the world, when I finally throw up my hands, pull out the white flag and say, I can't do this. I know not how to fix this. And I turn within and I wait. And I back up, and before I know it, I'm watching. I'm watching me in the scene. I'm watching everybody else in the scene. But from a different posture or perspective, I watch God living its life through me. God living its life as you. Divinity. God constitutes individual being. Do I really know that? There's a large difference in believing and knowing. Knowing it comes from the experience, experiencing it. Where believing is in the mind, something I've decided sounds okay, I'll believe that. But here, most of us know that that demonstration must be there. I must be able to prove it. I have to see it functioning. I have to be able to see through the appearances. And yet, without surrendering unto my Master, that within, I have no vision. I cannot hear but through the hypnotic glasses. So I surrender, and I accept me where I'm at, in whatever drama I am in. And then I move to forgiveness. I forgive myself for having wrote such a terrible script, having believed it, having projected it. And in that recognition, the realization of my powerlessness to having done otherwise, I fall back into the Father's arms. And I understand that that power, which is really the only power, there's only one power. Everything else is just tempting us to believe it has power. But that nature of error is always trying to tempt me to believe that there's something other than God. So we move back into that one power. The forgiving is just really letting it go. Okay, I fell asleep again, or they're asleep again. When my brother or sister is agitated or upset, they've fallen asleep. Can I give that cool cup of water of recognition when they're in trouble? Can I say, God, help them? They're in trouble. They need your help. And can I step back into that knowing, into that silence, and rest? Rest from what? Rest from the doing. Rest from the managing and mixing and trying to get in there and make it all better. Better by what I perceive would be better. And from that position, I move to gratitude and appreciation. Thank you, God. Thank you for knowing what I do not. Thank you for allowing me to see through. And we perhaps hear, it is I. Shh, be still. Just be still. Joel drove home the principles of omnipresence. One presence, one power, omniscience. One. We will rest back now, as though touching the hem of the garment. Allowing that healing balm to penetrate. Releasing anything that was causing us anxiety on the way here. And that which I am seeking, I already am. There's no more looking for God, since God is my being. but standing aside, stepping out of the way, letting it have its way with me. Back in the silence, behind mind, behind words and thoughts, we experience that presence, our God's indwelling place, here, now.